Well, Mr. Muggs, we decided to take a pit stop in Quechee, Vermont. Yep, right on the border of New Hampshire, above White River Junction, and they had some serious flooding here last year from Hurricane Irene. I was driving through right past this like an hour before it happened. There must have been covered bridges being swept down the road right behind me. This river, the Quechee River, which runs kind of sort of 6 feet, 5 feet below the existing grade. There's a dam right there by the Simon Pierce glass factory. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But this river didn't just overflow its banks, but the water was flowing on the other side down this, what I presume is a farmer's field or a recreation area, a good place for a wedding. And it was all filled with sandy silt that doesn't really belong on this topsoily earth. So this river was actually 3 times as wide. 3 times as wide as it is now. And there was a lot of damage and stuff deposited where it doesn't belong. It changes the whole biology of the area. Stuff that spawns on the river bottom, like fishies and salmon. And I don't know much about it except what I hear on the radio, on public radio. They talk about it, and I think I'm a pro until I have to dictate it to you guys and I forget what they just told me. But anyhow, suffice to say that the damage is far, far, far reaching. This is a parking lot here. The whole parking lot was a muddy mess. So says the locals that live in Florida for the winter. And Quechee, Vermont from the summer. They're from Cleveland. But the woman says Cleveland was terrible. But business dictates where you live, and there's a big market in Cleveland, Ohio. It's flat. Used to make a lot of steel there, and not anymore. I have a steel yard vid. We're going to walk over to the covered bridge that was almost swept off its moorings. Yep, imagine that, when the river just doesn't overflow its banks, but just flows down every lowland adjacent to the river. And I'm sure if you type in Quechee, Vermont, Queche, Queche, type it in and you'll see the huge destruction that was wrought on all these areas that are between the mountains in Vermont. And the water flowed down the mountains and it had to go somewhere, and into the lowlands it wrought destruction. Trees, propane bottles, cars, tires, fuel oil, gasoline, you name it. Cow manure. It got swept onto the neighbor's property, down, down, down the river. We'll take a walk over to the covered bridge in a minute. We drove by. I didn't see all the destruction, but I saw that there was a sign saying we'll reopen after we rebuild, so I'm sure they suffered. And FEMA may or may not have paid enough money to make the people whole. What the heck do you pay your taxes for? A lot of people in Louisiana, Lake Pontchartrain area, were ripping off the government, making claims for damage that never happened. Multiple claims. It's tough when people suffered real losses. And you got to deal with government agencies that are getting ripped off by professional scam artists. People that suffered real losses aren't getting paid, or get paid a fraction of what their losses were. Wow. It's tough being a government agency, working for a government agency. Trying to decide whose stories are legit, whose stories are made up, and then chase after people who got tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in settlements that they weren't entitled to. Saab, bankrupt. Thanks, GM. You'd think with all the record profits they're making now, they'd buy the company back up and put it back together and give it a life for people that like Saab automobiles. F-150 Platinum. At least it's 4-wheel drive. Not like in Florida. Here we are. Simon Pierce Restaurant and Glass Blowing Factory. Yeah, back to work. This is CW trying to rent the apartments on a Sunday afternoon. Right over the edge. walk around the front, see what it looks like. The Quechee River. Alright, where are we? Simon Pierce glassblowing factory is there. I was just behind it. And the real estate agency here took a serious hit. Water flowed around the covered bridge abutments. And the road got washed away, it looks like, or something. Wow. Used to be a road here. It's gone. All there is the iron I-beam, the 24-inch iron I-beam that used to be there. It ain't there anymore. Let's take a little peeky. Oop. Steel lock twist tie. Yep. Monster twist ties. Take a little look. There used to be a road here. The road is gone. The bridge could have been washed away. Wow. What we're standing on here is brand new fill. The old rubble foundation. Almost washed away completely. Crazy, huh? Yep. Could have lost another covered bridge in Vermont. They don't build them like they used to. Not sure where this 24-inch I-beam was. They may have lifted it up. It may have been dangling by the wires that cross adjacent to the bridge. Yep. This looks like a repair I-beam, this 16-inch I-beam put in place to repair what was here. Temporarily until the state comes up or the federal government comes up with the money. Yep, almost washed this building away. Yep. Water can cause some great destruction, let me tell you, in vast quantities. The other side of the bridge too. The other side is all eaten away, washed away. Water must have been coming down the road, down here under the building. It looks like their wall is right off the foundation. Yep, open sesame. Uh-oh. That's not holding up much. And who gets to pay for all this damage? Insurance companies, state government, federal government? Who knows? Considering Hurricane Irene was almost a year ago, it doesn't look as if anything is happening too fast. Well, we got to move on to the bike path and go for a bicycle ride on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Amazing. Amazing. And I drove through Hurricane Irene. I had been in Connecticut. I went to a Corvair show at the Lyman's Orchards, and it never happened because of the rain. And I drove back Sunday morning, and I swear as I watched behind me in my rearview mirror, there was bridges being washed away right across the road that I had just crossed through. Tremendous damage. Tremendous. All right, off to the bike path. Beautiful day. Chevrolet, Porsche. I thought I'd take a little walk down here and show you the destruction, one little bit of the destruction that these people had to endure. All their files and papers. Yep. Yep. Water ran right through there. All their information scrapped. Mother Nature. Yep. Yep. What a mess. What a mess. What a mess. But the bridge stood, barely. Alright. Somebody's misery. Off to the bike path. Thanks for watching. Next stop, Stowe, Vermont.
Yeah, I'm doing track here, which is great.
Wood belly pizza.
I realized it's really good at doing
Pizza
stuff that's helpful, but
from the
like,
cement
doesn't help
belly
us.
of a wood-fired oven.
And then I get the pressure to like do the stuff.
Oh. Wow. Farmer's market is over. I got the last piece of pizza. Want a bite?
Are you the one who does the videos and posts them
Yeah.
to Facebook?
Want a bite?
I already had something. I just posted your video.